Morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry I've been kind of missing in action, but we were on vacation for a week, and as I've said multiple times, it's not really, right now there's not a whole bunch going on, but yeah, I haven't put a video up in a while because we've been on vacation. We just got back this past weekend, so went down to the beach for a little while, but I'm back. I'm gonna do a short video just giving you a quick update of what's going on, show you some stuff that I'm doing. I'm not gonna do any work today just because I'm getting a little bit of a later start and I got to make it to work. So yeah, come with me and I'll show you some of the things, show you how some things are growing and what's doing well and what's not. Okay, so here, looking at our blueberries over here, I don't think I'm gonna have blueberries much longer because this guy's looks like he's pretty much dead. This one has shot up another bush, and it might survive, but I'm gonna need 2 bushes to get berries. So I don't know. There's a variety that I'm thinking about trying that was recommended to me by I cannot remember the guy's name. I'm so bad with names. He runs Scrubland Farms here in Florida, so he recommended a variety that does well here in Florida. These are a southern highbush variety. I don't know exactly what southern highbush variety it is, but he also recommended another one that actually does better here, so I might look at getting 1 or 2 of those. So that's the only blueberry that's doing well. I've tried to fertilize it. I need to get some azalea fertilizer for it, but I just used the citrus fertilizer that I've got. This blueberry plant had completely died, so I pulled it out. I stuck a sweet potato in there, a sweet potato vine, because I can't seem to keep them in the ground because the rabbits eat them, so I'm trying to grow one in a pot and see what it does. This is a nice deep pot. It's like a barrel that's been cut in half. So I put some, because this was a blueberry plant, you can see the pine mulch in there. I put some lime, a little bit of lime in there to try to bring the acidity up some, because blueberries like acidic soil. I don't know if sweet potatoes really care, because my soil runs acidic and they tend to do fine whether I put lime in it or not. But because this was specifically acidic, I put some lime in there, and then I have some kind of like a soil amending, it's not really a soil, but it's like a bagged soil mix, but it's more like a soil amendment type thing. I put some of that in there. It's got some fertilizer in it. I didn't think this was going to survive because it was running like all over here, and it went just almost totally black and like started to die all the way back, but all of a sudden here it goes. So that shows you what happens with sweet potatoes. I still have the sweet potato in here, and it's running everywhere, as you can see. But I'm thinking I'm just gonna leave it in here, and maybe we'll get some sweet potatoes out of this. So we'll see what it does. Seeing as this is not a super deep container. I mean, it's probably about to here, because this part down here is the reservoir, and that's where you put the water into the little pipe and it fills this up, and then it wicks from the bottom up. And I love this thing. This thing has been put to a lot of good use. I haven't had to put any water in it because we've been getting rain. So give you a quick update on my yellow dragon fruit here. It's definitely getting bigger. This is bigger than any dragon fruit that I've grown before, but I'm trying to leave it in here in this pot to let it get nice and big before I plant it out. And I got some Hamlin oranges that I started from seed that are doing well. These are, I think, a type of orange. I'm actually gonna pull one and let that one take off. I tried planting a Sumo Citrus in here. Now, Sumo Citrus, if you know anything about it, does not, here's my rosemary and the comfrey. My comfrey kind of took a dump because I went on vacation. I left it sitting out in the yard thinking, oh, it's going to rain while we're gone. It likes a lot of water. Didn't rain a bit while we were gone, and it got burnt by the sun, but it's coming back. Like, this is a brand new leaf. So, and my spearmint seems to always hang in there somehow. But anyways, Sumo Citrus, if you know anything about it, it was created in Japan. It's got that weird, they call it Sumo Citrus because it's got like almost like a little top knot like a sumo wrestler would have. But it is delicious. It is so good. And but they don't really make seeds. They usually are completely seedless. Well, the last time we had some here, when it was in season, we actually had an orange that had one seed in it. So I kept it and planted it because I'd love to have Sumo Citrus because it is so good. But here's my star fruit is doing in this old recycling bin, doing really well. I need to plant this out, but it might be some work because the taproot may be all the way down, just like my sapote. This black sapote, the taproot is through the pot all the way down into the ground, and this thing is getting big. I mean, it's really growing well. So I hate to disturb it, but I don't want it growing right there. So the passion vine is just about finished. It still, it still looks good and everything, but the fruit is pretty much all gone. I've got one right down there, and I've got one right there. They're starting to turn purple, so once they're purple enough, they'll fall off on their own, and I'll let them ripen inside and then freeze it. But other than that, it's finished for the year. You can see my yam vine coming in there. It's climbing all the way up. So looking forward to harvesting those. With the yams, you just let it die back. Usually by fall, winter, that sort of stuff, it'll start to die back if it starts to get cold at all, because it does not like cold. It'll die back to the ground. And this time, since this will be year 2, I'm going to harvest at least one of them. I still have some cassava growing. This guy over here has been knocked down so many times, and it just keeps coming right back. And then over here, you can probably see right here, that's a sweet potato. I had some sweet potatoes in the house that we didn't use, and they were starting to make slips, and so I just literally took the entire potato. I had 2 of them, and I buried one right there, and I buried one over there. So let them come up and do their thing. They'll probably get eaten by rabbits, but I'll give it a shot because I had nothing else to do with them. And if I just threw the sweet potatoes into the compost, they would have been eaten by raccoons. Let me take you over here really quick and show you something kind of off topic, but kind of not. This right here is beautyberry. This whole plant right here. You can see it starting to bloom. These will be ripe in the fall. They make really, really pretty. You can see they're starting to make berries right there. But it's all over in here. There's some over here. There's some down there. You can eat them raw. They kind of taste grassy if you eat them raw. But you can make a really good jam out of it. So it just requires a lot of berries because they're small. But it's all in here. It's starting to bloom now. They'll make the berries. They turn a really vibrant purple color when they're ready to be picked. And so we'll come out and pick them. We made beautyberry jam last year, which actually ended up being beautyberry syrup because it just didn't gel. But it was really good. I need to figure out a way. Hopefully we can figure out a way to make it a little bit less sugary because it was really sugary. Another thing, this sad thing right here, this stick used to be a cranberry hibiscus. It's dead, but it's popped up back there somehow. I don't know if a seed got back there or what, but cranberry hibiscus is really, really good. So hopefully I may dig that out and plant it somewhere else because I want to keep cranberry hibiscus going. Anyways, here in the garden, I tore out the tomatillo. There's a rotten one right there. It was making tomatillo, but not enough, so I just got rid of it. The okra, I'm giving it a little more time. It might make a little bit more, but I think it's pretty much done. It got kind of shocked when we were gone and didn't get any rain. But we've already eaten some of the burgundy okra this year, and it's very good. Tastes like okra, but I'm thinking that this will be finished. I got sweet potatoes over here, but as you can see, there were leaves all along this vine, and it was eaten. See how there's a leaf there, but the other ones are snapped off? Rabbits got to it, of course. And here are my Everglades tomatoes. Oh, there's a hornworm on there. See that annoying thing? Those things will destroy a tomato plant. If I left that on there by this evening, this plant would be nothing but sticks. But I'm getting some Everglades tomatoes. They're starting to actually come in, but I'm gonna get rid of this guy. Sad thing is, they make a cool little moth because they turn into an Atlas moth. So I hate to kill them because they make a cool little moth, but they will absolutely decimate your plant. There's some more growing right there. Now, Everglades tomatoes might handle it a little bit differently. I planted another one right there, so we'll see if it actually grows because it was struggling. Everglades tomatoes might handle it a little differently since they're a native Florida species. But I'm just gonna toss this guy. He might make his way back. We'll see. If he does, I'll get rid of him again. But there's a type of wasp that will parasitize the hornworms, but I haven't seen any around here. But now that I've seen one, I'm gonna have to really start keeping an eye out and checking. My garden is an absolute mess. I've been slowly coming through and re-forking and redoing the walking path over there, but it's just a mess, and I feel like I don't have time to take care of it all. So I do what I can. I'm really gonna have to keep that bugs me now that I've got hornworms. I would have thought that it wouldn't be an issue with Everglades tomatoes, but I was wrong. But anyways, my marigold is doing really well. I'm taking some of the dead seed heads and just tossing them around, hoping that they'll start to spread. I'd love to have more of it. My black-eyed peas are absolutely going wild, and they're starting to make flowers, so we will be getting some peas. As I've said, yep, there's some peas right there. These two things right here are baby peas. As I've said, I'm not doing it to get peas, but we will harvest the peas. I'm doing it for a cover crop, and then I will come through here and take it all down. Look, that right there is a robber fly. They are a good predatory bug to have in the garden. So yeah, they're just, when I came back from the beach, it looked like they had grown, like at least doubled in size, if not more. These over here, Mammoth Sunflowers, we'll see what they do. The the Autumn Beauty sunflowers are finished, but the yard is trying to take back over here, so I'm gonna have to come in and take care of that. But you can see some of this, I didn't pull out all the grass. Like it's been forked and hoed up, but it's just loose grass laying here because this is a walking row, so I'm not really trying to get this perfect. I just wanted to clear it out some. But got some Seminole pumpkins. That guy's struggling. I don't know if he'll make it, but we'll give him a chance. But got some Seminole pumpkin coming in here, and actually these over here I planted second. I planted those down there before I planted these, and these are doing better. Who would have figured? But I went ahead and planted some Seminole pumpkin to get it going, so we may have some pumpkins by fall and winter. I tore out the chayote. I had torn the chayote out of this over here. It was dead. The one down there where the sunflowers are was dead, so I took it out. And this one I cut back, and it was starting to come back, but then it just started to die again, so I figured the plant was probably sick or something, so I just tore it out. I may throw in some snake beans or something over there and see what happens, because snake beans you can pretty much grow whenever you want to here. They're almost like a weed, and they're really, really good eating. I had a sweet potato over here, but it's probably getting, oh, there it is. It's getting overrun with grass. And if it didn't get overrun with grass, it'd be getting overrun with black-eyed peas. So let me show you the trees, how my trees are doing. This is supposed to be the Pakistani Mulberry. I don't think so. I'm thinking this is another everbearing because the berries just aren't getting very big. But it's starting to bloom and produce berries. My big mulberry tree is producing another set of berries, which is exciting. I had read on a group that I'm on Facebook, I had read that if you, every time you prune a mulberry tree, it seems to produce again. So I will be pruning a lot. I bought a book called Grow a Little Fruit Tree, which I will be reading because I wanted to learn about how to keep fruit trees small but very productive. So my fig tree is not, it's looking really healthy. And it's got a lot of good leaves and putting more leaves on, but it's not really making any figs. I know I'm doing something wrong, I just don't know what. I'll have to research more into that. And pineapples are getting overrun back in here, but they're tooling along. This guy, we'll see how much longer he takes. I don't imagine he's going to get much bigger than that, because every time you plant a top from a pineapple, the pineapple gets smaller each generation. So that is probably at least a third generation pineapple. So it's just going to be small, but hey, it is what it is. Here's the peach tree. I planted it out here. It's kind of looking sad. Now I stuck some fertilizer in underneath when I planted it. Hopefully, I kind of planted the root ball a little too deep. I hope that's not going to cause a problem. But I topped it right here. It's still hanging in there. I hope it doesn't die. I paid too much for this thing. But I don't know, we'll see what happens. I don't know if I should try to dig it up some and pull the root ball out a little bit more or what. But it seems to be, like you can see right here, like it wants to start growing from there again. So we'll see. Mango's doing well. It just put on a new layer of leaves, all these up here. So it's doing well. It looks really healthy. This Florida avocado is, of course, doing wonderful. It's still, I mean, it's putting on new leaves constantly. This thing is growing like a weed, and I feel like I haven't really done anything to make that happen. It's just doing it itself. The Barbados cherry is doing all right, but again, it blooms and then doesn't make any cherries because nothing is pollinating it. I really need to come in here. I would have thought, because all this in here is Spanish needle, and pollinators like Spanish needles, so I would have thought it would have brought in pollinators, but it's not. So I'm gonna have to, I want to get some Mexican sunflower, because I think that will be, they don't get as big as other sunflowers, and I think that will be good for it. This is the Moringa tree that had the pod on it. I pulled the pod off too early, to my mistake, and I topped it, so now it's sending out shoots. And that's another thing I had read about moringa, is that it also likes to be pruned. So I pruned it back hard, and it's coming out again. Loquat is doing great. I need to weed in here too. Both my loquats are doing great. The Jamaican cherry is doing fabulous. My poor Meyer lemon, it always looks so sad, but it just keeps on plugging. So I leave it there, and I'm gonna have to come in here and clear some of this out, obviously. But yeah, the Jamaican cherry is doing great. It's constantly blooming and making fruit, and it's really starting to, it's not necessarily growing as much this way, but it's growing out this way. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to come in and cut some of these back so that it'll start to, you know, I want to keep it under control. The Jamaican cherry is more like a willow, the way it kind of sags and hangs. My bananas are very happy with all the rain, and I'm still not getting any bananas, and it's driving me crazy. This is the blue java, or the ice cream banana, like I've talked about before, and I've heard that it can be fickle. So I want to get some other bananas. I'd like to get some of the little Manzano bananas. Not Monsanto, Manzano. M-A-N-Z-A-N-O. Which in Spanish, manzana is apple. I don't know why they call it Manzano, but that's besides the point. But you can see this mulberry tree back here is exploding again. I've got some that need to be picked out here, some black ones up here. But after this is done this time, I'm gonna really top it. I'm gonna bring this sucker down, way down. So yeah, and then this Moringa tree over here, it had died back, and I topped it right there. You can see I topped it right there to see if it would come back, because I thought it was dead, and there you go. And it looks better than ever. So, and my lemongrass in here is going berserk with all this rain. I mean, that's as tall as it's ever been. I love to just come in here. Now I use it for mulch. I'll cut it, I'll cut it way down. That's why I planted it back here. I'll cut it way down, and I'll throw it around the moringa, I'll throw it around the mulberry, I'll throw it around the star fruit over here. And then it'll just pop right back up, because it's a grass. That's what grass does. But I like to come in here, take it like this, crumple it up, and then smell it. It smells so good. So clean smelling. Here's the other star fruit, and it's doing really well. It's starting to send off branches in all directions now. It's not just growing directly vertical. So star fruit are kind of willowy too, so they kind of hang, but you can see, you know, branches going off here. There's a branch coming off here. It's sending branches off, so it's starting to grow out, not just up, and it's starting to put leaves down further, so there'll probably be more branches coming out there. So it's doing really well. I had to kind of keep tying it up though, because it was sagging way down. Pomegranate here is doing okay. I have no clue what I'm doing with pomegranates, so my big pomegranate is looking kind of sad, but this tangerine is coming back very nicely. I was afraid that it was dead. I think right there I had topped it where it looks like a little cigarette right there, but it's all of a sudden come back pretty good, putting on a lot of leaves. Looks very green. I don't know, I'm hoping that it'll just continue to grow. Of course, we always have to worry about the citrus greening here, and if it gets it, it gets it. I can't do anything about that. But yeah, sugar cane, that's what this right here is. This is sugar cane. I got some there. I have some right here, but I think it's a goner. This one will survive. And then I have some over there. The stuff in the back didn't make it, but this one looks like it's gonna do okay. So that's about it. I want to show you, I have a key lime starting to come in, and then that's going to be it for today, because I got to go get ready for work. My other yam over here is climbing up again. You can see it's got the purpley right here. That's the yam, and it's all the way up there. it's going up that branch right there. And last year it got all the way, like way up in that tree. This is that cherry laurel tree that I can't stand, but since I don't have the ability to cut it down, I don't want it to fall on my house. I just make use of it for yams. So both the yams are doing wonderfully. Once they start, man, they just take off and it's off to the races. But here's my key lime, and you can see got some lime blossoms. I don't know if it's self-fertile or how it, you know, I tried to kind of blow on it and see if I could get it to, you know, if that would pollinate it, but ouch, it's got thorns and it just got me. Look at that. Gotta be careful with this. A lot of citrus has thorns, but look here, we got us a key lime, which I'm excited about. It's done well since I put it in the ground here, and citrus does not require full sun to grow and produce, so that's why I put it over here at the end. I put all the pentas in the flower bed right here, and at the end here I left a little bit of extra space over here so that this can kind of bush out. I'll keep it trimmed back from the house, and I will not let it get, I'm probably not going to let it get any higher than the bricks here. So, excuse me, sorry about that. But I will keep that nice and pruned. But I should have forked this area before I planted this flower bed, because the weeds just, I hoed this 2 days ago. I hoed it so Tuesday. By Wednesday there were already weeds growing back, and it's so frustrating. It just, especially right now, the weeds are just incredible because of the heat and the rain. So it just wants to grow in here. All sorts of like basket grass. See this right here? That's called basket grass, that kind of wavy looking grass. The wood sorrel's coming back, which is edible, by the way. Tastes a lot like a cranberry hibiscus. It's in this, I think it's in the same family, but this is a good bushy, this will bush out, and it's a good flower for butterflies, and it doesn't mind being kind of in the shade up here, so, because it gets morning and evening sun, but during the day this is completely shaded, just the way my house sits. But yeah, I just have to keep hoeing it. Hopefully during the winter it'll kill some of that back, and then it won't be as bad next year. But I'm kicking myself for not forking this before I planted it. Anyways, that is it for now, and I appreciate you watching. Please comment, subscribe, share it with anybody who you think would be interested in gardening, and help me grow this community. And yeah, any hints, any helpful advice, any criticism, post it in the comments below. I always link a couple of websites that you can buy seeds, sites that I have used personally, and I like them. One of the sites, I know the guy who runs it, so I know it's trustworthy. And yeah, that's about it. Hopefully it won't be as long between videos, but I'm doing the best that I can. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.